something?
Yeah.
If you're a scientist, you'll believe in laws of science. If I raise that book and I drop it, that's gravity. Gravity. That's the laws of gravity. But if we have water that falls, it'll fall in a slope. But if I make a dam, if I put earth, that water can't flow. So the laws of gravity won't work because there's a dam, there's a block. When we deal with Jesus, there are laws that we deal with, and the laws are love and forgiveness. Those are the laws that God uses, love and forgiveness. So we're talking about why prayer is maybe not answered, or the rest of it, is that if, like that dam, if there's a dam that stops it flowing, if there is a problem of love and forgiveness, it'll stop things flowing. So in order for the light to light, in other words, we wire a switch and there's a conduit to a light bulb. If we press that switch and a light doesn't go on, we've got to find the blockage. We've got to find where there's a bad link. So it's very important, as Father Nicholas says, and he always corrects me when I do this, that you have to ask God to forgive for you. If you can't do it, say, God, do help me to forgive. Help me to love, because I can't do it. As soon as you do that, it's powerful. And you then make the link from switching the switch on and the light coming on in your heart. And those are the laws that we have. Love and forgiveness, just like gravity is a law of falling things. Love and forgiveness, you mustn't have blocks. Any block you have will not enable you to allow that light to light up in your heart or for healing. So love and forgiveness is so, so important.
Let me say something about love. I had to forgive my mother, and it's explained in the book. What happened was this. I was working in London in insurance with my brother, and it was a big company. We had our own luncheon club, and every day same place for lunch. And there were ladies who cleared the tables. One of them was Irish, Mary Flynn, and she knew that my brother and myself were Catholic by the look in our eyes. Okay. And one day, she stopped me by the door as I was going out, and she said to me, I just saw you smoking your pipe just now. Have you ever thought of becoming a priest? And I burst out. I said, good, no. And the thought went, it came back. It took me 2 years to find out what to do. I found out what to do about going somewhere. I went home on holiday. I could not tell my mother. It didn't make sense. I told my big sister. My big sister at the moment is 101. So I presume she mothered me. So Sunday morning after breakfast, paper, and my sister has told my mother about me becoming a priest. My mother comes in, stands in front of me, she's been baking, she's got flour on her hands, and she says to me, son, how on earth are you going to be able to preach? I didn't know what that had done in here for years, till somebody suggested it. The process of forgiving and loving my mother, 2 lines. Then about 5 years, 6, 7 years ago, I said to Jesus, I need your gift of love for my mother. My mother died in the 80s. I need your gift of love for my mother more and more and more. And my relationship with my dead mother changed even more. So I now know any person in the world can actually love somebody when they couldn't beforehand by asking Jesus to give them the gift of forgiveness and love, and then to say, give me your gift of love more and more and more for somebody. And that Jesus cannot refuse that. That's his job as God. So he will always give you this gift of love. So anybody in the world can love, even if you think you can't. all you have to do is ask Jesus to give you his gift of love more and more and more, and he will do. Back to the notes, bottom of the, it depends on your printing. Number 13. Sometimes places need a deliverance prayer of one kind or another. London. Some people used to drive, I'm not sure if they still do, drive around the what's it called?
M25.
25. Praying for everybody in London. And I believe someone still does it now around Manchester. They go to several people in the cars, go round the motorway, praying for the people inside.
Endo.
Now there was about 5 years ago, the chief constable of the Metropolitan Police, the chief man, gave a talk in Brixton to the black people, and he said that we police know, that in an area with a lot of prayer, meditation, the crime rate goes down. Because the crime rate, evil, is pushed out and stopped from coming in. That's the value of prayer. Okay. Pete, will you read from here?
From there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm reading from I Saw Satan Fall by Benedict Heron. However, sometimes Christians can feel called to engage in offensive spiritual warfare in a very conscious way. In the early 70s, there was a Catholic charismatic prayer group meeting weekly in the Soho area of London, which area, especially during those years, was known as a culture of sexual immorality. The prayer group felt called in a special way to pray against the immorality in the district. Miles Dempsey, the leader of the group, who later founded the Prince of Peace community, tells how during the prayer meetings, some of its members would in pairs for a short time walk around the area, praying before immoral establishments. One evening they found that a new immoral establishment had been opened in the premises opposite the building where the prayer group met. Miles felt inspired to pray, "Let the fire of your spirit fall on these premises." Later that night, the premises were destroyed by fire, but no one was hurt. Coincidence? I do not think so. Soon after that, the whole Soho area was largely cleaned up by the police, and I do not doubt that the prayers of the prayer group played a real part in that.
Yeah. The road I was talking about before, does anybody know the two places called Charmouth and Morecambe Lake in Dorset? No. It's a straight road. Okay. Many authorities are convinced of the possibility of releasing places haunted by the unquiet dead. Now, McCall talks about the unquiet dead, and he means the dead have not been given a send-off, no funeral, no one prayed for them. Donald Omer was one of the people I mentioned before, said this just at the Bermuda Triangle. Oman regularly prays at sites where there have been a number of inexplicable or unusual accidents, and invariably the cause of evil is broken. In the course of research into the phenomenon for a documentary report on the subject, a BBC television team investigated the happenings on a stretch of road between Charmouth and Morecambe Lake in Dorset, on which there were neither dangerous corners nor hidden intersections. Donald Oman had offered prayers at this site, and it was found that in the 6 months prior to his doing so, there had been 17 accidents on that part of the road. In the subsequent 6 months, there had not been a single accident. Sometimes it seems that prayer and an avowed intention to hold a Eucharist in a specific place is sufficient to to free that place from being haunted. This was apparent when I was invited to visit a teacher training college in southern England. The principal asked me to come secretly as she was having problems with one of the halls of residence where some students were refusing to sleep. The building was generally considered to be haunted, and every midnight weird noises and screams could be heard in it. According to legend, this has gone on for the past 300 years.